Hello, YouTube. Hello, hold on. We'll continue our conversation about security. I even wore the same dress. But today we're talking about security again. I thought that I covered everything, but I got some questions and I thought that I would clarify, maybe reconfirm certain particular some information for you again. I'm sure it will be useful. Now, if you didn't watch the first part, please do watch it. It was on Saturday. I'm going to put that video in description of this one. And I will put this one in the description of that one. So you can easily find them, but they are both very important. This one will be more detailed, more like some details that you do need to know really if you developing inner security. Now, just as a quick recap, inner security is very important. You see, it is like having a body. Now, I have a body. I can just do whatever and let it just survive on its own, or I can take care of my body so it will last longer and it will help me in my life. You see, I can walk, I can use my hands, I can talk, I can do. You see, my body makes my life easier. Now, if I have inner security, my life is also made easier, even though I kind of could not see it. So the same thing, you can either develop inner security or not. It's up to you. But if you want to live a fulfilled life, this is something that must be done. Truly, it does. Now, just to recap the last one, inner security is something that we're given from birth. So if you have a physical body right now, you've been given security. We lost it along the way when we were developing in our childhood. Usually, not everybody. There are some people who don't, who actually were reconfirmed the security, whose parents brought them up very confident, very secure in what they are. So it's not for everybody. Now, most of the people are unfortunately don't have this inner security. They can act like they have if they have a lot of masculine energy, but they don't. So last time I told you how to do how to create the inner security, and this was grounding, developing your root chakra. You need to fix your relationship with parents, especially your father. You need to write 50 occasions when your father kind of provided security for you and all the family. You can do the gardening. You also socializing with people energy of first would be amazing, since they're the closest to security. And then you need to create routine, organize your life as much as you can, and have some kind of purpose in life, not just watching TikTok and Netflix. I do sometimes for like a couple hours at least. So, and then you also need to find what security is and give it to yourself. That's a temporarily fix. Now, I'm going to be answering like expanding this and answering your questions based on this information, because I got quite a few questions, and then people and I understand that I can expand. All right, so the first one is, you must understand inner security creates outside security. If I feel secure inside, the circumstances will turn out in my favor somehow. You see, the security will be created. For example, if when I feel secure inside, I probably will be living in a neighborhood that is absolutely safe, that I can walk in the middle of the night and nothing will happen. You see, like this. Or how else it could be? Yes, I haven't seen you in a while. So we're talking about security today. So security. So for example, if I am employed and I have a career and I feel suddenly not very secure, like if I will feel secure inside, that career will give me absolute security. That work will probably will either guarantee me, will sign a contract that I will be employed for years and years. You see, I don't need to do outside actions to create the security. Security will be provided to me if I have it inside. That's why it's so important to work with inner security, because it creates the security outside that we are putting a lot of effort for. You see, instead of me when I was working, like trying to negotiate with my manager to create some kind of a contract for me so I wouldn't be let go or something like that. I can just create inner security, and that job, that employer will offer that contract for me. You see, so this is important. Also remember, your wealth, the amount of wealth that you have, that you receive, that you can hold, depends on your inner security. Money is energy, and if you're not comfortable with the money in your life, if you could not feel secure, the money will come and go. If you energy of fire, if you energy of water, you probably will be so scared even to have money that you will repel them. If you are energy of air, you probably will just be giving yourself excuses that you don't care about money. But if you have inner security, the money will come and they will stay and they will multiply in your space. This is important. All right, so that was this. I hope it's your inner security correlates to your wealth, like 100%. You know, if the more secure you feel inside, the more wealth you will be receiving. Might not be coming as a paycheck, but it will be coming and it will be staying, which is, I think is pretty important. Now, yeah, I also last time I said that find out what the security is for you and create it for yourself. And I told you that for me, security was always money. For my brother, it's his house, apartment. Or, for some people, it could be marriage. Now, all this is a temporary fix. I want you to understand. Yes, I can be like a little hamster collecting all the money and putting it and saving it, but that would not protect me from losing the money if I will not feel the security inside. This is only temporarily fixed. You see, yes, I'm happy that I have a certain amount saved up and invested. I'm happy. That gives me peace of mind. But we live in such circumstances that I obviously don't don't keep all the money under my mattress. So understandably, I depend on the institutions, and if I will not feel secure enough, I will constantly be worrying about the money. So and this is exactly what's happening. So all these material things, or like for example, you believe that the house is your security. Yeah, you will buy the house, but then you will be worried. What if you will need repairs, expensive repairs? Or what if somebody will break into the house? Or what if your roof will start leaking? Or something like this? Or maybe you will start getting like a really expensive insurance because you are in a flood zone or something. So the house gave you that security, but it was a temporary fix. You see, because you don't have inner security, now you start worrying about the house. That's an extra worry in your life. Or if your security is a partner, let's say, you think if you are married, you will feel secure. If you don't feel secure, the partner either will not be providing the security, or he will start having problems because you don't feel secure. What happened to me a long time ago, a couple times. So material things, what I told you, yes, you need to collect all this, you need to give it to yourself, but it's temporarily. It does not stop you from creating security inside. Security inside is the must and priority, obviously, but this is something that you can do meanwhile. Like while I was working on my energy, while I was creating that security inside, I was also saving little by little because I know that this would help. You see, but only my inner security is keeping me from like being crazy about what if the investment institution will close or something like that. You see, only inner security keeps my money safe, not the banks. My inner security. Look how many people invested in bitcoins. I even had clients, they were taking loans to buy themselves bitcoins and then they lost because they didn't have inner security. They basically at one point the prices dropped and they start frantically selling them, and and they lost the money because they didn't have the inner security. All right, so that's the second one. Again, remember, all that material stuff that you believe that will create security for you is only a temporary fix. If I cut my hand very deep, yes, I could put a band-aid to stop the blood, but that will not fix. Something needs to heal inside. Either somebody has to put stitches or something, but the band-aid will not do the trick. Like it will help for a little bit, but the wound has to heal, on its own. So remember that it's important to give yourself what security is, but it's not exactly, it won't fix the problem. The problem will be fixed inside, and through healing your father, basically. And talking about your father, this was the question I got. So last time I said that you need to basically put your father somewhat on a pedestal. Both of your parents has to be on a pedestal, and if they are not, please do the meditation that I have, and I put it in the previous video. Heal the relationship with parents. Both of those, if remember, your parents are your roots, and your father especially is responsible for your inner security. Whether he did nothing in your life or he did a lot, he still has to be recognized. Remember, you're not doing it for him, you're doing it for yourself. Don't even tell him you're doing it. Just do it for yourself, for your own peace of mind, for your own abundance, for your own happy life. You see? So the question is, so somebody was asking me. I actually had a few people that asked me. I told you to write 50 occasions when your father provided you security, and I gave you my examples. What were mine? If you didn't listen to them, please do listen. So somebody asked me, can I ask my family members to provide those situations when my father provided security? Because so the person who asked is basically has the same, like I had the blurry kind of childhood, doesn't remember much from the childhood. The same was with me when I was working on myself. Now, yes and no, and I will tell you why yes and why no. So you can ask, especially your mom, I mean, she was there present, or you can ask your grandparents, or maybe all the siblings. Like, for example, my sister will not remember much from our father, because he passed away when she was only 5. So she has very, like, not too much of memory of him. But because me and my brother will always talk about him, well, when we have the occasion, she has this idea of a father in her life, you see? Now, me and my brother, we speak very highly about our father, and my mom also speak highly. So my sister has this perception of a very perfect father, the father that was providing security. Now, if you will ask, I don't know your family members, so if you will ask, and let's imagine your father and your mom fought, or maybe he cheated on her, or maybe they didn't see eye to eye, and he basically left her, and and never showed his face. Your mom is angry now, and yeah, she has her reasons. So her perception will kind of cloud your perception. You see, that situation between her and her husband, or not husband, I mean, between her and your father, it's their situation, it's their relationship, it's their lessons. You have nothing to do in this kind of entanglement. Your relationship with your mom is separate, your relationship with your father is separate. Even if you don't have the relationship with the father, it's still separate. It has nothing to do with your mom. So if you ask your mom, and your mom will be something like, your father is just a useless a useless person or something, or he didn't do nothing good, maybe you should kind of find somebody else who you can ask these questions. Or maybe you can talk to your mom honestly and ask and tell her, listen, I need to find good qualities about my father. Let's do it together, help me. You liked him at one point. I mean, you obviously was intimate with him. And if a woman got pregnant from a man, at one point she felt somewhat secure. So just be, I mean, I guess, genuine with the mom, and tell that you need to write this. Now, if you're talking to somebody else, like grandparents, for example, parents of your father, obviously they will be on his side. So that's, like, you need to look at everything from your perspective and your perception, you see. I had a client who never knew her father. She has a stepfather, and her mom is still now very angry with her father, even though my client is already almost my age. Plus, the father is who already passed away, but the mom just could not let that anger go. And so when she asked, I mean, the mom does not say nothing good about him, but there is something good. So what I advise her is to go to her grandparents on the father's side, and she was able to collect certain information about him. And then she also substitute a little bit with her stepfather, which also helped because he was upbringing her since childhood. Now, You can ask again. You can ask your relatives. You can, but make sure their perception doesn't cloud your progress. So again, remember, your relationship with your father is only your relationship with the father. Maybe your father didn't like your siblings, but he loved you or something. I don't think it's even possible. I mean, but still. So yes, you can ask, but make sure that it doesn't interfere anyhow with you. Don't accept anything negative about your father. Look, be delusional. As I said, it's for you, not for him, not for your mom, not for anybody else. It's for you. And if you have this a perfect picture of a perfect father, and then you have a perfect picture of a perfect mother, you will move on in life much easier. Nobody wants to know that his or her father or mother were a failure, or they couldn't hold their own or something. Nobody wants. You don't want to know that your roots were rotten. Like that won't help nobody. And again, if you have children, make sure you don't speak nothing bad about their fathers and mothers. It is crucial, because they will grow up with the rotten roots. And you can't have a strong tree with the roots that are rotten. And feeling sorry for yourself also will not help you. So do that meditation, write this list, and you'll be fine. Another thing I wanted to mention: it took me a few months to write all the 15 instances. That's because often our mind blocks our childhood, especially if the childhood we believe was not very happy. Now, don't rush yourself. I didn't know one person who would just sit and in one evening write all 50 of them. Write little by little, and the more you will write, the more you will remember. Your mind will understand that the memory of the childhood is not painful, but more like enjoyable, and the mind will start recollecting more things. So don't rush with that, but this is an important thing to do. If you want to feel secure, you will have to do that. No, like there is no negotiations on that. And if you will think that you can do it with your mom, no, because mom gives love. This is also very important, but this is not security. Security is from the father. All right. So the next one. Um, so somebody asked me something about how would I feel when I feel secure. When you feel secure, you breathe slow. So your breaths are usually long and slow. And if you notice, people energy of first are like this. They don't breathe like this. They speak slow. They don't speak much. They breathe when they do long breaths. And if you notice, wealthy, affluent people also like this. I worked with quite a few in my previous career, and I know that those people move slow. They speak kind of not very fast, and they breathe slow. Since I was a Reiki practitioner at that time, and then already a Reiki master, I could feel their energy. Their energy was never chaotic. So that's when you know, if you breathe like this with no kind of reason, then you don't feel secure. Secure person always feels deep, and this is also um, my problem, so to say. As energy of water, I breathe my breaths are very shallow. So like this, I don't make deep breaths always. But when I catch myself, I do. I start kind of controlling myself. So, but again, observe people energy of earth. They usually have long breaths. Okay, so this is somebody. So I said a person that doesn't have inner security usually have fears and anxiety. And this is actually a friend of mine. She wrote, "I'm manager fair. I don't have fears." I spoke to her, but I only included this so you will understand. Yes, you see, people energy of air don't have fears. True, because they are not attached to anything. But if you will put them in some kind of box, because they don't have inner security, they will start having fears. They will start feeling suffocated. How does it look? You suddenly take a person energy of earth and you put them in some 9 to 5 job, and that's it. It's a routine job that they have to do again and again and again, and they start going crazy. Or they get married to a man that is or a woman that is very somewhat secure, does like has a routine, does everything the same, and they also feel the same way. They feel like they're suffocated, you see. So yes, but now if person energy of air has inner security, they wouldn't feel suffocated in neither of those places. They will know it could be fixed, or it could be temporarily, or I could travel, or I could just expand my social life to to make it even. So I spend a lot of time here in this place, or in this work, and now I do have a very extensive social life outside. You see, again, they do need inner security. Now I have another one. Somebody energy of fire wrote. So I also said people that don't have inner security, they tend to gain weight. Usually these are feminine people. Why? Because the mind thinks that there is stress, some kind of problems, and they need to protect vital organs. And so they start packing up fat to protect the vital organs. So somebody energy of fire wrote to me, I don't gain weight. And I will tell you why you don't gain weight. That's true. Also energy of air. Why? Because they're masculine. So they believe that they can control everything. They believe that they can do actions. So if something will happen, they will they will fight back or something like that. Again, they can do it only until they have freedom. Take energy of fire and forbid them to talk, and they will blew up with their own fire inside, Again, now if they would have inner security, they would not even worry about that. So it's all, that's true, they don't gain weight, but they do have issues as well. Inner security everybody must work on, no matter whether you're a man or a woman, you're masculine or feminine, no matter what energy you are, everybody has to work on that. Unless you were brought up in a family where security was installed, where you just walk on clouds and you know everything is for you. Usually these are people that have in their natal charts moon and sun conjunct. So when you're masculine and you're feminine are together, when your father and mother are together, your sun is your father, your moon is your mother. When they're conjunct, it's basically they're in unison. I only knew very few people like this, and they really were almost invincible. It's like they were not afraid of nothing. They felt very secure, and this is and on only these people, I think, don't need to work on security. Now, if you have an opposition, sun and moon, you will have to work on your inner security your whole life. It's like your mother and father are in constant fight. So that's what it is. So no matter your energy, you will always have to work on your inner security. All right. So the next one I mentioned here. And also, let's do this. Can you give physical examples of whether somebody is insecure, whether they have inner security or not? Okay, I will. Again, I'm just telling you how it is, so don't take it personally, something. So security is our root chakra, right? And our root chakra is located in our tailbone, and tailbone is where our butt area is. So usually, and since women are more grounding, it's the size of your butt, right, of your behind. Now your butt has to be like a little big, but proportionate to your body. I'm not talking about BBLs or what are they're artificially made. I'm talking about your personal one. So if your shoulders are wider than your behind, then maybe you're not that secure, because usually shoulders are wider in men. You're more masculine then. Now, women usually have kind of bigger butts because that's they're the one who are grounding, and men are drawn to these parts of their bodies because these parts they give them security and grounding. Men are drawn to our breasts because this is where the love comes, and men are drawn to our um, to all the other parts because that's where the pleasure comes. But anyways, that's how you will see if the person has like a round, firm, proportionate butt, then this person is secure. They have, at least they have potential for inner security. Also legs, the legs has to be sturdy, like really good kind of. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the fat floppy kind of I'm talking about this physical feature. You see, them it has to be muscular. If you have a huge kind of legs and butt, and it's all in cellulite, all in fat, that means that you have the potential, but you are not using the potential. You don't have inner security, so the inner security is created for you. What else? How else could you see? So the people who are slouching like this, like, you see, because we need to protect our inner vital organs. People who don't feel this inner security, they tend to slouch, and no matter their age, no matter their basically anything, they usually like this. Also, this would sound strange, but a couple of weeks ago, I was in the not a couple of weeks ago, like maybe a week ago, I was in our pool, and there was a couple. They were sitting in front of me. That's why I actually noticed. It's not like I'm observing everybody, but they were in front of me. The gentleman was elderly, and she was a young kind of girl. Not sure, but they were a couple, and her figure was perfect. I knew she was insecure from far away. Why? Because she was slouching. I already knew she was insecure. But when she come and then she started drying herself, so I looked at kind of her figure. Her butt was kind of hanging like this, like sagging, and I already knew there was no security in her. And now I understand why she's with this elderly man. He probably provides some kind of sense of security for her. I would love to work with her, honestly. With her amazing physique, she could do so much better. But anyways, it's not really I only mentioned them because they were right in front of me. It was hard not to notice this couple. All right, so this is how you will see. So if you have kind of a good proportionate like good proportioned butt and like strong legs, you have the potential to feel really secure. Now just work on the security, do some energetical and in the work you already have the potential. Now why men don't have this? Because they're usually masculine. They do actions. They don't rely on the security in them, or they will have a woman that is secure and she will provide the security for you. All right, so the next one is this is something I wanted to mention. I had a conversation with one of my clients, and let me understand. So let me explain you something. I said last time, when you don't have inner security, you will tend to look for people that have that confidence in them. For example, you want to go out, so you contact one of your friends that is absolute socialite that can go, and she's like all, you will rely on those people. Or for example, you want to go on a double date, so you drag like some hot friend of yours. Or maybe you want to go traveling, so you go and traveling with somebody who is traveling all the time. So you always rely on somebody who has this kind of inner security in them. Now, and then I said that you shouldn't be relying on anybody, because people feel the energetic pressure. If you are, I wouldn't say using them, but if you are if you're not contributing, they will feel it. And so that friend of yours will go with you a couple of times, and then she will be like, why would I anyways? So this person that I was talking to, she told me, well, Anastasia, you always tell me that men are supposed to provide security. Now, if I do not expect security from him, then why would I need him? All right, so don't confuse something. Men do need to provide security for their own development, but you should not pressure that out of him. You should not expect it from him. That should be your standard, but it's his choice whether he's providing or not. Now, if you have inner security, you will have those men that will provide. You will, I guarantee you. I guarantee you, from my example, from my client's example, and from my mentor's example. My mentor, one of my mentors, was actually the biggest example. She was, she's really successful, and she was successful before in her previous career. And because she was so strong and she has this absolute inner security in her, her man that she was dating at some point became very successful because she had this inner security. So he was providing to her, and he became successful to provide to her. Then they separated for a few years, and he was not as successful because she kind of removed the insecurity. Then they reconciled, and again he became very successful. You see, but she doesn't depend on him. She is successful right now. I'm not sure whether she's still mentoring, but if she decides to, she will have a lot of clients. And so when you have this inner security, you will start attracting men that that gladly provide the security for you. They will do it for their own development, but not every man are yet on that kind of level of development when he's like, okay, I need a woman in my life so I can care for her and develop myself. Not everybody. There are men that are like 50-50, or some of them are okay with a woman supporting them. So but you need to have the inner security. You see, if you are not secure inside, if you are afraid and you could not provide for yourself, you will be attracting men that could not provide, who will be like, if we work together, maybe we can rent a place together. Oh my God. This is the thing. Yes, your standard should be that a man is supporting you. That's absolutely normal. That's how it should be. Otherwise, why would you with a man? But you should not be pressuring him energetically for that. You should be so secure inside that you have no doubts that you only attract men that provide this kind of security for you, like that, like me right now. I don't even think I can attract anybody who is not even capable of that. Like the other day, I met this guy. I went for a run. I met this guy, and he's not really, I don't want to sound arrogant, but he's not really where I am right now, energetically, right? But still, he owns his own house, and and he has somewhat a career. So you see, he is ready to have a relationship with somebody, and he wouldn't mind to I guess provide for that particular woman. You see, but only when I start having this inner strength. Now, when I didn't have the inner strength, the men I had in my life, they were like this. I need to get a car to work on deliveries, but I could not get the car because my credit is so bad. Could you co-sign with me, like this? This is the demand that was in my life, basically. And I was kind of, okay, I will help him. He will become wealthy, and then he will, no, that doesn't work like this. Inner security first, then the man will reflect it. Even those men that were, some of them are still in my life, they became somewhat successful because I have a different kind of strength in me. And right now, I wouldn't even tolerate, like energetically, I wouldn't even match with somebody who doesn't match me. You see, so that's how it is. Inner security first. If you believe that you will have the security only when a man will come and he's like, here's my checkbook, my credit cards, take it, everything is yours. No, that's not how it works. Even if you don't have inner security and you will meet a wealthy man, I mean, we live in Miami, wealthy man everywhere, I guess, still he probably will not give you much. Because you don't feel that strong inside, you don't have that security, you don't have those roots. You see, yeah, he probably will be taking you out here and there because you're part of his entertainment, but for the most part you will ask him to pay for your nails or something, and he will when he will back up. So it's important. Again, yes, you should have a standard, but you have to back up that standard. That standard is not just, okay, from now on I'm only dating wealthy man. um I mean, sure, go for it. If you have that inner security, I mean, I would be happy for you. But this is so funny because I'm on Facebook in couple groups, and I'm reading this, and the women there, they're like, um, I have a house, I have a good savings, I have this, I have that. Why am I attracting men who could not match me? Oh, maybe because you don't have inner security like me. Long time ago, I had a good career, I had good money, I had everything, but I didn't have the inner security. So the men that were coming were weak like this. Their masculinity was weak. You see, this is actually a good video I have. Healing masculinity, attract a strong partner. I'm going to add it to this one. So you basically, it's you could not attract a man that will provide if you don't have this inner security that you will always be provided. This feeling is I'm always will be provided by this man, by another man, by myself, by my clients. by a lotto win, by something, I'm always will be provided, I'll be fine, like this. When you have this absolute assurance, and how this absolute assurance comes from those roots, the roots that you grew up with. And when you have this kind of feeling, the man that will be coming will be only coming with offerings. They would not be just wasting your time asking to co-sign on their loans. Trust me. I mean, I went through this. Not only me, but a couple of my clients as well. Actually, one of my clients' fiance at that time, I'm not sure whether he's a husband now, but he actually jumped his career very much when she didn't want to do nothing. She wanted to be a housewife. So I told her, you need to still have inner security for your man to provide sufficient for you to stay home. And that's what she did. She basically was, she absolutely was working on her inner security, and her man was promoted and started making really good money on bonuses, I think. But still, regardless, that's what it is. All right. But you do, the standard should be that your man is providing for you, not less. Okay, one more thing. Last time I also mentioned that in our society, we depend on the institution. So before, the security was inside of us. I have, like, my parents have a farm. We're working on that farm. We're growing potatoes. We're selling the potatoes. We have some money. You know, our farm is my security, kind of like that, right? Now, these days, we don't have farms. We don't have nothing. These days, people are relying on institutions for security. So you go to kindergarten, then you go to school. You kind of get an education, institutions giving you the validation in your inner security. You finish school good, okay, so you can find a good job, or you can get into college. Then you go into college, and then to university, and then you're supposed to get a job. Like me, I graduated here and I have masters, but when I graduated, I was not offered the job right away, and I was shocked, like, why did I study, where is my job, and I have student loans, but I don't have a job. How am I supposed to pay? You see, this is what happened when we depend on the institutions. The institutions hold the power over us. It's in our mind. Obviously, they don't hold that much power, but in our mind, we believe they hold power. And until we will get rid of that kind of mental jail, it's very, very hard for us to continue living. You see, since I came to this country, I never really applied for any kind of benefits, any kind of grants. Well, grants I did for my college. So I, like, they were offered to me. It's not something that I would like seek, but anything like food stamps, whatever they offering over there, I never did. And I'm happy that I never did. I mean, it's not that I'm so prideful and I wouldn't take it. No, that's not true. The thing is that I worked in finances, and my clients were not, but I was acquainted with some people who were depending on this. They never really grew in their life because they were depending on this institution. The institution give them $300 on food stamps, so I don't know how much this. I'm not even sure, and $800 on their social security, and they afraid to make a step to the right, to the left, because they don't have inner security. Those money are giving them the the security outside, and they're afraid to do anything because they're afraid to lose that security. So the institutions that you depend on will always hold the power over you. Nothing wrong with that, obviously. I mean, if you're working for some kind of place, obviously you will be, they will hold some kind of power, but you still need to work on your inner security. Only when you have the security like really strong in you, only then those places will not hold power, and you will be able to kind of to become even a better employee, and who knows, maybe start something yourself. You see, like when I used to work in my previous career, there were people that didn't hold on to they didn't hold to their job at all. They were like, okay, so I will be fired, and what, I will go to another institution and get another job or whatever. And those people, the funny thing is, those people were the most promoted because they were not afraid. They were doing maybe sometimes risky stuff. They were not afraid to express their wishes. They were not afraid to speak up. and they were always promoted. I was always shocked, like, why these people who don't even care for this place, who will gladly just leave the place, they are the ones who are getting promoted. Why? It was always shocking for me, always. And I mean, I had to work hard for my promotions, and not even the ones that I wanted. So this is exactly why, because institution that I was working for was holding a power over me. Over them, it didn't hold any power, and they were much stronger. They had the inner security, and the outside world reflected that inner security to them. So when they wanted to be promoted, they got promoted. You see, like that. That's why it's a very slippery road when you go down this kind of let me apply for this, let me apply for that. Then you just becoming, you're on a hook, on a hook of your own fears. You're afraid that if you do something, the institution will kind of punish you or something like that. Probably, obviously, it won't happen, but still, this is exactly. That's why I don't. I don't work with people like this, but still, I would not suggest anybody to get your inner strength from the institutions. I wouldn't. I would not, like, find another way. There's so many ways, honestly. And if you will find how to provide for yourself, you will see how much stronger that security will be. I am a lazy person like that. I would just write the list where my father was a hero, and I will create in the security outside. Something will happen, and I will be provided for. I would never put my security in another, like in an institution or another place. Do I use other place? Yeah, I do. I mean, obviously, I use the banks, everything, but I would not want to put like um, my health into some kind of institution. I would like that would be no. I would rather, I don't know. I would rather work hard on my physical body than to and on my energy than to rely on somebody else. All right. So that's it. Not that's it. But for this, I hope I made it clear. Do not allow institutions to hold this power over you. No institution should hold any kind of power, not even your own country. I love both of my countries, obviously, and I respect them both and everything. But and I, as a citizen of both countries, I act accordingly. But I would not, I would not let it hold me back against something. So if I decide to go and live in Australia for a few months, I mean, I will go, and I don't know whether I will like it, but still, like this, you see. Now, but there were times when I believed that I could not leave the country, that I need to work because I need to pay rent, because I need to do this and this and this. I was just afraid to make a move, to go somewhere, and I was making excuses like that. All right. So, and one more thing that I wanted to mention. I think I started with it, and I will finish. Security is like a physical body. If you want your body to be healthy, you work on it. If you don't, then eventually it will start failing you. So some people, and you probably know them, they're born with naturally healthy bodies. So they don't need to do nothing. They don't hardly do any kind of exercise, and they still have perfect kind of figure, glowing skin. They have, and I know actually two of those people. They are aging perfectly, honestly. Much older than me, but still. And again, both of those people, they have the conjunct moon and sun. So their soul and their presence are basically kind of in unison. They're very harmonious when they're with themselves. Kind of, there's no fights within themselves. So but not too many. You probably don't know too many of those people. I don't know either. And till maybe a couple of years ago, I was not that person either. So it's up to you, really. Are you going to create that security? Are you going to work on your physical body? You see, when I wake up, I brush my teeth. When I go to sleep, I brush my teeth. You see, I watch what I eat. I mean, I obviously exercise. I do all this. Why? I do it for my own body. Now, I also do a lot of things for my inner security, because they correlate. You see, if I don't have inner security, my body will be in constant stress. it will not do good nothing. My energy will be misplaced or like a little chaotic. Again, it will not do good anything, neither for my appearance nor for my body. So you need to choose. You see, some people never take care of themselves. Never. They become sometimes maybe a little chubby. Maybe they lose their muscle eventually. They this and that, and then they start getting diseases. So I mean, again, do they live? Yeah, they live, and I mean, sometimes very long lives. Is this a fulfilling life? I mean, I guess until a certain age. So it's up to you, really. But security is something you'll have to work your whole life, unless you have a really strong roots. That's why healing your relationship with father and your mother is so important. Exactly what I did when I healed my relationship with my parents. I feel for the most part in my life, I feel almost invincible. I feel like everything is possible, honestly. I start pushing away the people that are not that don't correspond um, to my values. I choose the clients that I have. I had to. I mean, all my clients are nice, but some were just not exactly on point. So, what I want to say is that you need to work on your inner security, and the easiest and the shortcut is heal your relationship with parents. Do that meditation. If you will do it, I was doing that meditation somewhat like that because I didn't do meditations at that time. This is my meditation. I was doing similar meditation, very similar. I just made this one deeper, but a similar meditation for maybe half a year, every single day. And I was crying, and I hated it, and this and this and this, until I started feeling very positively neutral, very good. As soon as I say, so your father puts an arm on your right shoulder, your mother puts her hand on your left shoulder, and I started feeling warm at once, like this. Like I almost feel the presence of phantoms of my parents, and I feel very strong, very, and then I imagine, and if you listen to meditation, I say that, and then their parents are behind them, and then parents, so like a whole bunch of generations. And I feel great. Just imagine it's you and a whole bunch of your relatives behind you. I mean, these are people that created you, they're strong, and all their energy is coming through you. Just imagine that. Your roots are very powerful. Now return that power to yourself. Don't allow your ego and your victim mentality hold you from that. That won't do. I was in that victim kind of state for years. For what? Who did I do good? Nobody. Not to myself. Obviously, my parents didn't. My mom didn't even know. My father passed away a long time ago. So who did I do a favor to? Nobody. Just held myself back from what I could have had, what I could have done with my life. So no, right now in my life, my father is absolutely perfect hero that he was. I always was very close to my father, so it's not like I didn't have to make up a lot of things, but some of my clients did have to make up some stuff. Um, Basically, almost pull pull the hero part almost out of nowhere. And but with my mom, I have perfect relationship, and that makes me very very grounded, very strong. I know that I'm protected, that I'm looked after, that I'm strong. I'm strong. I have strong roots, and there's nobody who can kind of shake me. Yeah, of course, obviously, everybody has some kind of issues, but because I have this inner peace inside of me, inner strength, outside world for the most part is very very pleasant, I would say. So I mean, I was traveling and I didn't have that much inner peace but it made me stronger. By the time I came back to Miami, I was already a different person again. Could I have gone on a trip like this, on a 1 year traveling? If I would not have that strength inside of me, probably not. I wanted to do it for so long, and only I did it last year. Why? Because I had enough inner security to do it. Now, some people would never be able to do it. I mean, if they want to, but they would never be able to do it because they don't have the inner security. Don't be one of those people. Be the person who will be able to do anything you want. You want to start a business, start a business. You want to travel, travel. You don't need to depend on something for something. So, anyways, this is my my kind of inspirational speech. I hope I did inspire you. Please do ask me questions if you have. Let me just recap. Please do send this video. There are a lot of people who are insecure, who don't have this sense of inner security in them. Please do send it to them. Again, your inner security corresponds to your material possessions, obviously, if it's something important to you, and also overall life. So, yeah, your inner security will not give you pleasure or love, but it's a good ground to build that pleasure and love on. You see, when you feel strong and confident, then you can kind of start developing second, fourth chakra. You can start looking um, for a man when you are not really dependent on him. You socializing with men, you start enjoying men, and because a man feels that strength in you, he's not going to come with empty hands. He knows that to impress you, he needs to bring something. So he's obviously coming with the gifts. You see, it's important. Again, inner security is not going to give you a husband, but it will prepare the perfect kind of grounds to to start growing something like a family in your life. All right. So to sum it up, today we're talking about the security and just really fast on everything. Inner security is something that was given to us, but we lost it somewhere in childhood. It's okay because our parents were like this, were growing up like this, so they gave us what they could give. Now, inner security creates outside security. If you think it's a waste of time, you're mistaken. Um, your the, your inner security will always create favorable environment around you outside. Now, material stuff that you get yourself to create that security is only a temporarily fixed. Remember that it's not permanent, it's not forever. It's only temporarily fixed until you will build the inner security again. If you will always rush after money, but you don't have inner security, you will be losing them. There will be either your family members that will be asking for money, or maybe some kind of bills will show up that that you didn't really plan on, or something, or somebody will borrow, like it was with me. People were just borrowing left and right, and then I had to hustle to get it out of them. So like this, it's a temporary fix. Don't rely on that. Can I ask my family members for them to tell me about my father? You can. Make sure, though, be a defender of your father. You're doing it for yourself, not for him. So with your mom, if you're asking your mom and you never knew your father, then tell her, listen, I need to know only the good parts. So tell me what was good. You obviously was dating him, so there must be something good. Don't listen to any kind of, oh, he was the bad man. Look at he never paid the child support, nothing like that. Don't listen to that. You don't know what was in that relationship, and obviously I'm not defending any kind of man that was not a good father. But if I will, but it will not help you. We can sit here and I can talk how bad he is. That would not create any kind of strong roots for you. So let's better sit here and find why your father is good. And I will tell you why your father is good. He gave you life. That's already very important. And that's just it. I have a couple clients who couldn't get pregnant, because their partners, I guess, don't have enough security to create that kind of life. So your father did something for you. All right. Now, when you feel usually when you feel secure, you have long breaths. You can kind of see where you're standing with that. Most of the time, I have long breaths. I'm not. I'm a little. I wouldn't say I'm slow, but I'm not rushing. I move. I don't move fast unless I'm going for a run. So I can. But sometimes when I need to breathe fast, I breathe fast. If you energy of air, you need your inner security, so not to feel trapped anywhere. Obviously, you need to build relationship at one point, so you need that inner security to feel free when you are not even free. Like when shouldn't say that, but when you're in something committed and you don't feel, you're like inner security will help you to feel free, like you have wings, even though you are in something committed. If you energy of fire and you feel you don't need inner security, you're mistaken. Obviously, you do, but you're right. You don't gain weight. Um, when you are with the man in the relationship, you should have a standard of him supporting you, but don't put that pressure on him. If you are desperate for a man to provide for you, to support you, look, you wouldn't find that man. I wanted to bring this example, and I will tell you. One time ago, when we came to United States, there were like a few girls of us, and we were working. There was one girl who were not really caring. We came to kind of to experience the United States, to work, to make some money, to take back with us, and she was the one who really didn't care about much anything. She was from okay family. Her parents, she was the only child. Her parents loved her very much, and they were not wealthy, but they were going to leave her the majority of whatever they have. And so she was basically like this. Oh, well, if it doesn't work, then I can always go back to my country. I really frankly don't care. Like this. She never cared. She was really strong. I don't know where her sun and moon is, but she was she had very strong inner security. Nothing was bothering her. And this is exactly what happened. One day she was working, so her English was not too good. So she was working in one of the restaurants or something like that. And she was walking home, and it was kind of late. And one of somebody was in the car, and he's like, "Hey, do you need a ride? I mean, it's kind of late, and you by yourself." And she was like, "Yeah, sure, okay." And so he gave her a ride home, and she's a beautiful girl, so he asked her for her phone number. She said, "I don't have a phone," and he basically bought her a phone. That time there was Nokia and the Motorola, something like those. You remember the flip phones? So he bought her one of those, and he got the number. And they start dating, and they got married, and they still live together. You see, the guy, he's wealthy, he has some money and everything. She had the inner security. She attracted the provider man when she was not even looking for it. She really didn't care. She could have go back to her country. She's not from Russia, but she could have go, and she could have maybe had a perfect life there. So provider man came when she had the strong security inside, and he obviously felt that there was no desperation, so he had to impress her somehow for her to stay and to give him a chance. People who have unproportional small kind of behind is usually slouching, weak legs, extra weight. These are the ones who have weak inner security. Security is like physical body. You need to work on it all the time, and do not depend on the institution. You can do it as a temporarily, but if you will constantly depend on the institution, you will lose yourself. You will lose your inner security. The same with parents. You see, yes, I have strong roots with my parents, but I don't depend on them. If I will be asking my mom for money, I would depend on her. So it's not the roots that are helping me to grow. It's me draining the roots out for no reason. That's not a good indicator. I am grateful that I have this strength in me, that I have strong kind of um, strong background, but I can do it on my own. The same. If you want an institution to help you out a little bit, do it, but make sure it's not like a constant a constant. Well, I don't know whether there are programs that constantly support you. Really, as I said, I never really. The only time I actually get something was my unemployment, and it's only half a year, and it's only because my employer insisted on me applying, so which I was grateful. But again, it's only half a year. I don't think you can get more of that. So again, if you want to get some kind of assistance from somewhere, it's okay. If you want to get a job, it's obviously also okay. But make sure that those institutions do not hold a sword over you. Make sure you do not depend on them, and they don't hold that much power over you. That was my mistake for a long time. I stayed in the finance career for many years because of that, not because I enjoyed it so much. Obviously I enjoyed part of it, but But for the most part, I stayed because I didn't know what else to do with myself. I was afraid to lose a job. I obviously don't have family here much, so I was staying there because I needed that outside security that the institution was providing for me. And only when I started working with my energy, when I became a Reiki master, when I already had a strong inner security, I already was looking kind of what to do outside, what I can do, and only then I finished my career like that. So it's okay to have it, but again, just like with material things, make sure it's not a constant. Not Make sure you do not depend on it for forever and ever. All right, and if you think that right now you depend and in future you would not, that's a mistake. With years, you will be more and more kind of um, prone to depend on the institution. So obviously, you don't want to be that. You have enough strength inside of you. All right, that's it. If there are no questions, we're going to finish. On Saturday at 11 a.m., we're going to meet and we're going to talk about the feeling of lack. One of you actually suggested, even this security also, she suggested it for me, and I'm grateful because I probably would never even come up with something like this. And we're going to talk about lack. That's also something very important, and especially traumatic in people, in masculine people, women and men, and like energy of air and energy of fire. They frequently live in the state of lack. So we will we'll discuss that and how to heal that. Remember, I'm all for harmonious living, not for quick fixes, but for a strong kind of base and from which you can move forward, just as I did myself. All right, so that's it. TikTok, I didn't even look. I think it should be fine. All right, bye TikTok. I'll see you on Saturday. Thank you everybody who was here for your support. I really do appreciate it. Please do send it to anybody who will need it. And enjoy your evening. And I will see you on Saturday at 11 a.m. Bye everybody. Enjoy your day.